Hi everybody, welcome back to my vlog, Sweet Caroline RD2B. First of all, I want to start off with the last listener question that we had submitted. So the listener question was submitted by Ellie Carney, and she wanted to know what fruits and vegetables are in season for the spring. So I headed over to Fruits and Veggies, morematters.org, and I looked up the list of what they said was in season for the spring. So for March, April, and May, for the next 3 months, these are some of the fruits and vegetables that you will see that are in season at the grocery stores. So things like collard greens, corn, green beans, honeydew, mango, oranges, pineapple, snow peas, and spinach are things that are in season for the next 3 months. Now remember, you can always get these foods, whether fresh, frozen, canned, at the grocery store during all seasons. And remember, according to My Plate guidelines that were created by the USDA, half of our plate should be fruits and veggies. So this is a really great listener question. Thank you so much, Ellie, for asking it. So now on to our main topic. So today we're going to be talking about nutrition food labels. And food labels are really there to help you make healthier choices. But if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be kind of confusing. So hopefully today this will clear up any confusion that you have about food labels and what a food label means and what you should be looking for. First thing first is serving size. So serving size really does matter. And if you just take one glance at a food label, you might think, oh wow, this only contains, 100 calories or 150 calories. But in reality, it might actually have, 6, 7, 8 servings per the container. So if we take a look at this, I'm trying to zoom in here. This is a box of crackers. And if you take a look, it says there's about 6 crackers per serving size and 9 servings per container. So that means that we have to multiply everything by 9 if you were to eat this entire box of crackers. Flip it around. If you were to eat this entire box of crackers, you would have to multiply the nutrition fact label by 9 in order to see what you would actually be consuming. For example, the calories is 120 calories per every 6 crackers. However, if we multiply that by 9, the total calories for this entire box of crackers is a little over 1,000 calories. So if you were to eat this whole container, you would be eating over 1,000 calories. So what are we really trying to get at when we're talking about serving size, and why is that important anyways? Well, other than the fact that you don't necessarily want to eat 1,000 calories just on one box of crackers or chips or whatever it may be, also portion size is really, really important, and so that will help us to understand a little bit more about, well, why exactly is serving size important? So, to help you out, when you eat fish and any type of meat, you should really be looking at about a 3-ounce serving size. And that is an appropriate portion for fish and meats. So to help you kind of get an idea, well, what does 3 ounces look like? If I don't have a scale, how am I going to know it's 3 ounces? So 3 ounces can be compared to a deck of cards or a bar of soap. So that is about the amount that you should be having in fish and meats. When we're talking about cheese, you should be having about a 1-ounce serving size. So that's about 2 of your thumbs put together, and that's all the cheese that you're supposed to have for 1 serving size. Cooked grains, about 1/2 cup serving size, and then raw leafy green vegetables, you should have about 2 cups serving size, and that's about 2 of your fists put together. That's about 2 cups. So fish and meats, 3 ounces, cheese, 1 ounce, cooked grains, 1/2 cup, and vegetables, about 2 cups. So I want to move on to calories. So what makes up a calorie? So sometimes you'll hear these 3 nutrients be called macronutrients or macros, and that's your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. So between the 3 of those are your macronutrients, and they make up the amount of calories in a food product. Now, I want to stop and say without getting too much in detail about calories, everybody's caloric needs is different. So it depends on your age, on your gender, on your height, on your weight, and your activity level. But normally we kind of base everything around a 2,000 calorie diet a day. But if you want a more specific number and you want to reach out to me about figuring that out for yourself, please let me know. You can either send me an email or comment below, and I would love to help you with that. But to go back to talk about the macronutrients, not all calories are created equal. So 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So with that being said, it's really important to know that depending on the food item we're eating, they will have different macronutrient breakdowns. So for example, cheese. Cheese is a high-fat food. So if you're looking at about 1 ounce of cheese, which is the serving size, so our 2 thumbs put together, it's about 120 calories. Well, what makes up those calories, and how come it's considered a high-fat food? That's because around 88% of the calories is from fat, 12% is from protein, and just a tiny amount is from carbohydrates. So the main component of cheese is fat. Another example, salmon. If you like salmon and you're looking at about a 3 ounce serving size, so again, that's about the deck of cards or a bar of soap, that's about 160 calories. So what makes up those 160 calories? Well, the majority of salmon is protein. So it's about 58% protein and 42% fat. So that is a high protein food. Now, when you look at things like pasta, for example, pasta is a high carbohydrate food. So the majority of the calories in pasta come from carbohydrates. Okay, so moving on from calories and our macronutrients. So what should I be avoiding on a food label? What should I make sure that I'm getting enough of when I'm choosing food products at the store? So you should avoid things that have too much saturated fat in it. Saturated fat is known to raise our LDL cholesterol or your bad cholesterol, which can increase your risk for heart disease. You should also limit the amount of sodium in food products. Sodium can lead to, too much sodium in the diet can lead to high blood pressure. Obviously, we need sodium on a daily basis, but too much can lead to high blood pressure. And then finally, added sugars. So we want to make sure that we're limiting the amount of added sugars that we are consuming on a daily basis. Okay, so I know what I need to limit. What do I need to make sure that I'm getting enough of? So we want to make sure that we're getting enough of fiber. If you watched the bread episode, you'll know how important I talked about when choosing breads and choosing a bread that was whole wheat and whole grain to make sure that you're getting enough fiber in your diet. And then you can also look for some vitamins and minerals in some of these food products like vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, iron, vitamin E, things like that. Okay, so moving right along to the ingredient list. And really what I want to talk about here is that order matters. So when things are listed on the ingredient list, things are always listed in the descending order by weight. So the first ingredient that is written on a food label is always the largest amount. So if we bring out our crackers again, and we look at our ingredients, the first ingredient listed is whole grain wheat. So that's great. That's a really great ingredient. Try to get that in the shot for you so you can see the ingredient list. So that's just something to be cautious about. And if you're looking at a food label and the first ingredient is sugar, then you know that that product is mainly sugar. So I want to take a minute here and just pause that I am just doing a very brief overview of a lot of really in-depth topics. For example, just calculating your calories alone is a really heavy topic and something that I could talk a lot about. Macronutrients, getting into all of that, even down to what you should be looking for on an ingredient list. So this is just a really broad overview. If you would like more information, again, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, so with that, I just want to review everything that we've talked about today. So looking back at our Cracker Box nutrition facts labels, the first thing that you should really look for when you are looking at a food label is the serving size and the amount of servings per container. So that will kind of give you an indication of how many crackers, how many chips should I be eating when I sit down to eat a portion of whatever it is that you're eating. Also the calories, and then we talked about how fat, protein, and carbohydrates make up the calories, the amount of calories in the product. So obviously this being crackers, carbohydrates are going to be what's mainly making up this 120 calories per serving. Something I didn't really touch on when I was talking about it, but under carbohydrates is fiber. And so if you watch the bread episode, I talked about how when you were choosing a bread, you really wanted to pick a product that at least had 3 grams of fiber per serving of bread. So these crackers are whole wheat and they have 3 grams of fiber per serving. And so really that will just help you to get closer to your daily fiber total. So on average, women should be getting about 28 grams of fiber, men a little bit more than 30 grams, and the average amount of fiber consumed in an American diet is around 10 to 15. So we are really lacking in our fiber. Other than whole wheat products, fruits and vegetables will help you to reach your fiber intake for the day. So just a little side note on fiber. We also talked about the ingredient list. So really just paying attention to, well, what's the first thing on the ingredient list? Is it sugar? Is it a whole wheat product? What is it? And that is what you are mainly consuming when you are consuming whatever food product it may be. So with that, I hope that this has given you a lot of information and insight onto what really is a nutrition facts label. This is just the basics, just giving you a basic understanding of what you should be looking for. If you want more information about, well, how much sodium should I be limiting and how many calories should I be looking for, please reach out to me. Let me know if you would like me to discuss this in a future episode. And we had our listener question at the beginning of the episode, so please comment on YouTube, on Facebook, message me, email me, and let me know what listener question you have and what you would like me to discuss in the next episode.